Hey guys, I just wanted to take a moment to, I've been having this kind of reflection time, really for the past year, probably because of COVID. And I have been really compelled lately to share this kind of overwhelming sense of self-love. And I really just want to share it. If people listen, great. If people want to keep scrolling, I'm okay with that too. But I just want to put it out there because actually this is one of my moments of self-love is sharing some positive messages from kind of this internal transformation I've had. So first, let me very briefly, and this won't be a long video, but let me just talk about where I was kind of a year ago. I was in just everything was fine. My business was fine. The kids were fine. I was finishing my doctorate degree, so that was fine. I mean, everything was kind of fine. I was managing life as normal. COVID happened. And like a lot of other moms and working women, I think we went into crisis mode and we do it well. But I think for me, what I realized really quickly, and moms, you can attest to this, I went into crisis and then I went into autopilot. And I realized that a lot of what I was doing in my day to day obviously changed. But I think more importantly, I lost this sense of self. And I think as moms and women, we say that a lot, like, oh, I'm so-and-so's mom, or I'm so-and-so's wife, or I'm so-and-so's girlfriend. And, I'm just the chauffeur, and I'm just the cook, and I'm just the, mom that sits on the side. I go from one activity to the next. And I think that's a part of who we are. But what I'm talking about is this, I realized I lost this sense of self-love, that I really just had it was almost flatlined. It was dead. It wasn't even about, I wasn't doing things that I enjoyed doing, although that was taken away. I think COVID sort of heightened this sense, but I realized that I loved other people more than I loved myself. So I just want to, let's just sit with that thought for a moment. I love my kids more than I love myself. I love my fiance more than I love myself. I sometimes love my career more than I love myself. I love taking my kids wherever they need to go more than I love myself. And for years, I realized this over the last year, for years, I justified it with, that makes me a good mom. That makes me a good partner. And I also justified it in saying, well, of course I have self-love. I take time to get a massage every now and then. I take time to go out with the girls and I have a girls' night. I also justified it with that. But what I'm talking about is actually it's deeper, and it has to do with validation, which I'm going to actually talk about in another video. So this will kind of make more sense, this deeper sense of self-love. What I'm talking about is loving ourselves more than we love others, number one. And it's okay to say that. But here's the other piece, and this is very important. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. It's about loving yourself more than others love you. And I want to say that again. Love yourself more than others love you. Why does that matter? Because if my kid tells me they hate me, I love myself enough. I have validated my worth through a whatever it is I did, to know that that's not true. And that might be a bad example because I'm sure we all have those kids that say that. But I don't need to take my kid to soccer or football or wrestling to know that I'm a good mom. And I don't even validate it through other things that I do. I make them lunch. I make them this. I make them that. I validate it through my own self-worth. And I think it matters because a lot of times at the end of the day, how many times do we lay in bed and think this day sucked and I didn't do anything for myself. All I did was pick up food and people's bowls and drinks, and I made dinner, and nobody said thank you, and nobody did their chores, so I did them, and I brought everyone here, and I managed everyone's Google Meets and schedules, and we all just sit in the same room, and everybody's fighting, and I have kids are up till midnight, and I'm going to bed because I'm tired. And we literally think about everyone else except ourselves. And we, unfortunately, the natural regression is that we use that validation to question if we're doing a good job or not. And then that internally becomes this, without us even knowing, this idea of self-love. I came across this picture and I wanted to share it. It says, you often feel tired. I don't know how many moms out there for a child, but I feel tired all the time. You often feel tired, not because you've done too much, although we think that's our initial, that's what's on superficially, that's what we think. I'm tired because I've done too much. But you're tired not because you've done too much, but because you've done too little of what sparks a light in you. And again, it goes back to that self-love. It goes back to doing things that make you love yourself more than others love you. And we don't do enough of that reflection. And when we say that we do, of course I love myself. Of course I do these things and girls' night and this, that, and the third. Are we really internalizing that? Are we really saying, I love who I am in this moment? Are we recognizing that I love who I am in this moment? Those are just some things I really just wanted to reflect on. What inspires you to love yourself? Why don't we love ourselves more than loving others? And here is sort of my challenge. And I'm going to do it too. Finding moments of self-love. So it's not necessarily about changing habits. So that somebody said to me, actually a friend of mine said this to me recently. I wish I could go to the gym more. Like I would love to have self-love, but like I just can't find to go to the gym, and I can't find. No, this isn't about changing habits. This is not a self-help thing. This is not that. This is about finding your true self-love. This is about and everyone says this, you have to love yourself before you love others. But although that is what I'm saying, that's not what I'm saying. You have to love yourself more than others love you. You have to. And finding that self-love, finding what makes you love you is a process. It's trial and error, because I guarantee if you're like a lot of other mom friends that I have, we love others more than we love ourselves. I love my kids. I say it. I love you more than life itself. And I will do anything for anybody, and I will put myself last. That is okay as long as we are not internalizing. But I think as moms, I think because of COVID, I think because of what we're wives, we're significant others, over time, we flatline. When we do that, when we tend to love people around us more than we love ourselves, we tend to think that's how we're validated. I am validated as long as I'm doing all these things. Because if I don't, then stuff's going to fall apart. I'm going to have to end up cleaning it up. Now we're internalizing that, and this whole complexity of mess sort of starts. That's why taking time for self-love is important. And that's where self-care comes into place. That's going to be another thought I have, self-care. But that's why self-love is so important. Loving ourselves is really the foundation of a healthy lifestyle, a healthy relationship with ourselves, a healthy relationship with our kids, a healthy relationship with the people around us. I can't stress that enough. And that's my challenge. So that's my challenge to you. That's my challenge before my next video. I've already talked longer than I wanted to. My challenge to you, think about what you have been putting off that inspires you to love yourself. What have you been putting off? Buy that makeup that you're like, it's not worth it. I need to spend the money on other things. Nope, just buy it. Maybe you'll hate it. Who cares? Get your hair done. Go get a massage. Go for a hike. Even if you never go hiking again, just go and do it. Moments of self-love are important because all those little moments are going to equate to bigger ones. And it will start infusing in us. And we're going to say, you know what? I love myself. I love myself more than you love me right now, and I'm okay with that. Those little moments will become big ones. And it's not a change of habit. It's about what inspires us to love ourselves more than others love us. Think about that. I challenge you to do that. I think I'm going to post these videos like once a week when things come to me, and I'm okay with that because it gives me self-love. You can watch it or not watch it. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great week.